Hello, welcome to 2022. We've not really had a break here at Fair Business Australia, but that's okay, that's by the by. I have very good news here for you with the police pack. Been hard at work with a lawyer, the same lawyer that actually worked on the decline police pack, which is just absolutely amazing. And she has been hard at work getting some really solid legal references for us down. It's then gone across to the graphic designer, and we have also been filming today as well. So I have in my digital hot little hands, our police pack is ready to go. It is 27 pages, full color, nice and pretty, easy to read, all the legal references you are going to need. And we've taken a bit of a different angle with this police pack. Now what we've done, we've received some feedback about people who had bought the original police pack, and we're feeling a little bit anxious because the original police pack is quite an assertive approach. And Mario, our owner from Casa, is absolutely an assertive, passionate, fiery Italian. But that's not what a lot of other people are wanting to do with their business approach. So we have heard you, we have listened, and we have actually, with the help of Michelle, we have gone on to, and she will be coming on video soon as well, I might just add. I'm very excited about that. We have pivoted away from a very assertive approach, and some have said combative approach, across to what we call a reasonable excuse. Now, once you get the pack and you read through it, you'll see that if you're doing the COVID safety plan, you're doing everything you can to keep yourself and your staff and your customers safe and all that kind of stuff. You've got the appropriate paraphernalia, you're doing your social distancing and all that kind of stuff. That's fine. You're doing everything you possibly can to keep people safe. But over and above that, we believe as business owners, we have a reasonable excuse as to why we are not going to do this, or this. So rather than saying, not going to talk to you, get out of my store, which a lot of people were feeling a little bit nervous about. And I have clashed with police myself, and my heart was racing and my palms were sweaty and, mum's spaghetti and all that kind of stuff. We have taken it across to, you don't have to say a thing. So you'll read your 27-page document, which is very pretty. It's just like reading a catalogue. It's very easy to do. And you will then print out a plain text document as a PDF, and you just give that to the police officers. Now what we've done is actually put a QR code, a nice QR code, put a QR code on that document itself. So when you print that out and you give it to the police officers can take their own phone, they can scan the QR code. It's got all the legal references, the reason as to why you have a no trespassing sign on your shop. It's not to be antagonistic, it's just so that, officer, you can now say, you've paid me a visit, thank you for your service, really appreciate that you're here, and now you're no longer legally allowed to be here, so you can't come back. So that means that the officer, because what we've been noticing is mass media, mainstream media, is now pitting police and health officers against small business owners. And that is not the way to go. That is not community, and we want to absolutely avoid that at Fair Business Australia. All the people that are following us, to my knowledge, do feel the same way. So rather than, you can't come in here and get out, and then I'm sure a lot of you saw on mainstream media that then even the news channels managed to spin what was going on at the Vintage Agement. I don't know how they managed to spin that story, but they did, because that's media for you. So rather than give them footage, because they do go trolling through the different sites, don't think that your private group on Facebook is private, okay? You will have someone in there that is just there to spy on you. It's just a fact of life. That's social media. But rather than having, footage going out on mass media and making us all look like tinfoil hat wearers, anti-vaxxers, and all those silly words that we keep getting labelled with, we're just going to zip the lip, we're going to smile, and we're going to hand across a document. The video will explain to the police in a really lovely, non-confrontational, thank you for your service. This is why we're doing the no trespassing. This is why we're invoking our right to silence, because we just don't want to have any stress or any misunderstandings in this interaction, okay? So this is going to mean that you can go about your business. You can explain that you have, via the document, remember you're not saying this, you're just giving across the document, we have a critical staff shortage. I do not have the funds after 21 months of lockdown to be able to hire all these extra staff to just check COVID vaccinations. So I have my paraphernalia up, and people know what the rules are if you don't have paraphernalia, which some of you will not, and that's okay. We're getting more people across to not having that kind of paraphernalia, but you guys need to know that, you know, what your rights are and feel like you're semi-protected. So instead of, you know, you having to roll out and say, where's your vaccine status, which I got kicked out of another cafe yesterday, right out west, which I was quite surprised about. It wasn't a very nice feeling. But instead of you guys having to do it, or have your 14-year-old, 15-year-old, 16-year-old staff members do it, which is stressful for everybody, if people have got a vaccine passport, they're likely going to show you anyway when they're walking in the store. So other than that, you know, you guys know what the law is, and we expect you to come and show us. And if you don't show us, we're probably going to be just too busy to come and ask you anyway. So it says that, it says all the different laws. There are 14 different points all listed out, very easy to read, very easy to understand, very easy to scan, because remember guys, police officers, apart from a couple, I know there's always bad apples, but there's bad people in politics, there's bad people in small business, there's bad people everywhere. But most of police officers, they're really stressed out about having to do this as well. They don't want to have to come in and crack down on small business owners. They've just been told to do that from their superiors. They have a family just like you. They have a mortgage just like you. They have stresses just like you. They've been coerced to get the jab just like you. So rather than be combative, we're going to give them that document, and they can scan it and go, oh yeah, cool, cool, cool. They can take that document back. You, mind you, have said absolutely nothing, so you can't get screwed by the mainstream media. You can't get screwed by their body cams. You can't get misunderstood for something that you might have said which actually incriminated you, even though you didn't mean to incriminate yourself, because you're not a student of the law, because you're not a lawyer. Okay, and we don't all have, you know, money coming out of our ears where we can just hire a legal team and say, oh, just talk to my lawyer, and you've got 3,000 people standing in the corner with suitcases. Okay, so you're just going to give them the document. They're going to be able to scan it. They can take that document back to their superiors and say, no, didn't actually talk to me at all. They just were very polite. They smiled. They gave me the document. They didn't talk anymore. And here's the document. And the document is all laws. We are not doing this because we believe we breach this. We not doing this because we believe we breach this. We believe we breach this. We believe we breach this. And it lays out all the laws, okay? And for those of you who aren't aware yet, in the case of Commonwealth versus state, Commonwealth trumps state all the time. There is a law that says that, okay? If they are at odds, Commonwealth trumps state. That's just the way it is. So have a read of it. You're going to breathe a big sigh of relief. Now, moving on to getting arrested and getting a fine and having to go to court. This is not a silver bullet, folks, okay? This police pack is not a silver bullet. If it was a silver bullet, we wouldn't be in the position that we are now, because Fair Business Australia is not the only organisation that is, you know, grabbing stuff from around the internet and talking to lawyers and putting it all together in a way that you can consume it whilst you're off trying to run a business because you're busy and, again, you're not a student of the law, okay? So, sorry, it's really hot here and I'm like really sweaty. They don't make shirts to breathe when they look nice on camera. What was my point? What was my point? Sorry, folks. I've just completely forgotten. Anyway, we're alive, so whatever. You don't have the time, but this is going to lay it all out for you. You're going to breathe a huge sigh of relief. Thank you, whoever just was yelling at the screen. Arrests and fines. Thank you very much. Appreciate you. Okay, so guys, if you get arrested, it's not the end of the world. It doesn't mean that you've done anything wrong or that you've said the wrong thing or that you're doing anything wrong right now. Sometimes people will just arrest you because they want to arrest you. Case in point, Ben and Sarah from New Earth Cafe. She was unlawfully arrested. She was taken to court. She never actually got into court because of COVID. All the lawyers can be in there and all the media can be in there, but she can't be in there. She just has to take a phone call from the magistrate. I mean, go figure. Whatever. But if you're going to be unlawfully arrested, you're going to be unlawfully arrested, okay? This is not a silver bullet. However, if you know your rights and you know that you can remain silent and you know that you can get your phone call and all that stuff that we saw on NYPD Blue when we were all growing up, you will breathe a sigh of relief to know, I just got to get through this process. I'm not actually doing anything wrong. I have given them the document. I haven't said anything, so I haven't incriminated myself. And this is likely going to, I'll be released, just like Ben and Sarah. They changed the charges 3 times and then they just threw it out of court. And the only reason why she's still going to court now is because her and her husband believe that they need to set a precedent, that it's not okay to just go and arrest someone because you want to arrest them. That's not okay. And this is not the first time stuff like this has happened, all right? So if you get arrested, it's not the end of the world, okay? I know it will be uncomfortable. I know it will be unpleasant. I mean, I might have my day in court, who knows? If you get a fine, that's also not the end of the world, okay? There have been many fines. Anecdotally, I've spoken to quite a few different legal people, and there have been many fines for mask wearing, many fines for, not adhering to different COVID regulations and orders and all this kind of stuff. Now, a lot of those fines, anecdotally, are being thrown out in court, okay? Or they're being forgiven, okay? Or in the case of New South Wales Singleton hotel owner, which I do need to have a conversation with him. If anyone knows him, please get him in touch with me. He received a fine for not complying with show us your vax status or you can't come in because we're medically segregating now. That was my own little bit there that I added on. And so he went off to the magistrate and said, well, I don't even know I'm here. And he represented himself. So I've been told. I have not got that from the horse's mouth, but this is what I was told by someone who spoke with him. And he received, so I've been told, $1,000 slap on the wrist, get out. And so what they're wanting to do right now, anecdotally, again, I'm not a lawyer, this is general legal information from people that I've spoken to. Do your own research. Please don't come back and blame me for anything because it's not my fault right now. But anecdotally, they don't want to set a precedent by actually finding someone guilty for something where a public health direction is opposing to a federal law. Okay, so it's very, very hard to do that. Like, it's unlawful to do that. Okay, you can't be a magistrate and just say, oh, well, we're just going to do that and just ignore all these laws over here. Like, you can't do it. Okay, so if you get arrested, it's not the end of the world. You get your phone call. I would strongly recommend to you, this is not in the police pack, but I would strongly recommend to you that you have the name of the lawyer that you want to call, okay? We've all been asleep at the wheel. None of us are legally trained. And so right now we do have to make a little bit of effort to make sure that we know what to do if that happens, all right? So if you get arrested like Ben and Sarah were, she eventually got her phone call, but it was a long time before she did, okay? Don't be that person, all right? Know that you get a phone call. Know that you've been unlawfully arrested, so it's all going to pan out okay. And if you get a fine, there are different legal people that we can put you onto. Now, you can self-represent. That's fine. You're very welcome to self-represent. Or if you don't want to be bothered with the stress of it, you can go down the legal path of getting representation. Now, what we're doing right now is we're speaking with quite a few different legal people, both who are on the bar and who are not on the bar, like lawyers who have passed the bar, and people who are used to be lawyers or have a lot of legal research under their belt. And what we're saying is it might be a very good idea to get quite a bunch of different business owners who are all in the same boat to partner together to chip into the hat and give it to one legal firm to take Queensland Health or Queensland State Government to court over that, okay? But that's way down the track. So let's backpedal a bit. It's not the end of the world if all that stuff happens. There are lawyers that can help you. Fines are getting thrown out of court. To my knowledge, if someone wants to correct me on this, please do, and I'll absolutely retract my statement. But to my knowledge, there have not been any precedents set where a magistrate has chosen to uphold a mandate over a federal law, okay? Please correct me on that if I'm wrong. So it's not the end of the world. But backtrack to now, you want to open, you don't want to lose revenue, okay? That's what this boils down to. This is not, should we get the jab or shouldn't we get the jab? Should we do this or shouldn't we do this? It's nothing to do with that. We are small business owners and we are trying to run a business. Your vaccine status is not my business. It is unlawful for me to know what your medical status is. It is discriminatory for me to refuse to serve you based on your medical status. And you will see all this in the police pack when you purchase it, okay? But let's come back to now. This is about revenue, small business owner revenue, okay? So in order to get, if we are at 80%, which I don't think we are, but whatever, that's just my opinion and I can have that because of freedom of speech. If we are at 80%, you're still losing 20% revenue, okay? So in order to pick up that extra 20% revenue, you will be able to use this police pack to legally operate business in a way that you can do that, okay? So this is not about what your personal beliefs are around the vaccine and all that kind of stuff, which most of you are like that anyway. It's very rare that I get someone that's on the I prefer not to have the vaccine that vilifies people that have had the vaccine. Very, very rare in my experience. So I've gabbed on enough now. I'm absolutely starving. I'm going to get some lunch finally. And if you would like to have the police pack, I'll put the hashtag, I'll go back in just a second and put the hashtag in. You can just put in the comments below that hashtag and it will link you directly to the police pack, okay? So part of getting the police pack, you can buy it as a standalone and a percentage of that will go to small business owners who already fighting fines. It's not going to be 100% anymore because I have had to put a lot of work into this pack and do have overheads that need to be paid for. However, anyone that does buy the police pack from this date onwards will get updates as to where that money is going. Very, very transparent as per always. So you can either buy the police pack as a standalone or, and preferably, because we all do need to stand together on this. Please don't just protect yourself, but stay hidden under the radar. That's not helping anybody. We all have to stand up together. So I implore you to do the second option, which is listing your business as a platinum business owner. Okay, so right now we have bronze, silver, gold, and we've just added an extra one, which is platinum. Okay, so what you can do, you can go in and buy a platinum listing, gives you 20 images, gives you your business information, links to all your socials or your website, how you're dealing with COVID, testimonials. You also get to display a video. If you have a hero video for your business that you'd like to display, you can put that in there as well. You'll obviously get the platinum pack as complimentary. We are bringing businesses, services on board now, people that want to partner with Fair Business Australia, because we're getting a bit of a database now, and that's how business works, B2B. It's a good thing. And they are going to be offering us specials and discounts that you can get access to as a platinum owner and as a gold as well. Everyone that signed on as a gold, because that was the top package, that will be honoured too, so don't worry about that. And finally, as a platinum owner, you also get to have your day at a podcast. So you can get interviewed by me, which as we're up to, I think, 22,000 people now in likes and follows on the Facebook page, which obviously not everyone's going to see those videos because of Facebook algorithms, and we're not woke enough to be put out to all the masses, but that's okay. We're still getting roughly between 1,200 on a poor video through to like 80,000-90,000 on a good performing video of views. So that would be a great way for you to promote your business, to get on the podcast, to share your story, and also as well as promoting your business on the podcast, you're also creating this massive community where people can go, well, I'm not the only one standing by myself, because, you know, Fred from Fred's Fruit Shop, he's standing up too, and this is good. So what we're doing is we're sharing as much story as possible. We've been working really, really hard getting a CRM down. All of you that have listed on the platform so far and have purchased police packs and mandate info packs, 2022 is going to be a year of much better communication. Right now, it's just been the socials because there's been so much to do in the startup. But we're looking to get a whole bunch of emails, regular emails out to you, because I'm very pleased to say as well, now that I do have you on a live, very pleased to say that my call out over the Christmas period that, guys, we're really desperate for support here. We have a skeletal team. I now have a team of over 30 people. Yes, I did say 30, over 30 people that are now currently being onboarded and upskilled and put the systems in place and all that kind of stuff. So we are growing. It's very exciting. We have another project that we'll be launching next week, which is really, really cool. Actually, I will tell you about it. It's really, really awesome. Maybe not next week, but anyway. What we're going to be doing, guys, is I've been discriminated against 3 times now. It's not a nice feeling. I really don't like it. And so rather than get angry and have a go at people, which, you know, 1 was police and 2 was like little 14-year-old kids that are just doing their job. And I remember being a checkout chick, having to ask someone to check their trolley in case they were shoplifting, and I was so terrified having to do that. Imagine having to ask people for their vaccine status. Like, it's just not okay. So rather than getting angry or putting those stupid videos out from some of those people that are just not helpful to our cause and saying silly things to young store, assistants, what we're going to do is we're actually going to put together, you can choose on one side of a really lovely, highly, matte, beautiful looking business card, and on the other side is going to have a QR code, how to confidently trade during COVID. So they'll scan the QR code, it'll come up with an informational video, not about whether you should or you shouldn't vax or anything like that, but how can you get more revenue legally, and if anything happens, you're then covered by the police pack, and if anything happens from there, we can then point you in the direction of correct legal representation. And all these different products that are going to be sent out. So if you have an issue where you are discriminated against, you just give them that business card, they can scan the code, and they can learn when they're away and they're not feeling antagonized by anything, they can actually go and have a look themselves. So the plan is to grow the directory so that we have 1 million businesses on the directory. If you've not yet listed, please list your business with us. We need 1 million businesses on there to really start to make a dent federally, okay? Number 2, get your police pack so that you feel confident that as and when you do have a visit from police or from health officers, that you can be kind, you can be respectful, but you can also be quite removed and not have to engage in anything that might incriminate you or bring you stress upon your day. And the trespass notices will mean that the police then don't have to come back, and they can go about doing stuff that they would, they actually went to the academy for. They didn't go to the academy to having to visit small business owners who are doing nothing wrong and are on the right side of the law, okay? And number 3, we're going to be launching that business card in a few weeks' time, as quickly as possible, so that you can then, when you go to a business that is, not letting people in or all that kind of stuff, a lot of them don't want to do that. They just feel like they have to. Imagine if they knew they didn't have to. And together we can get the message out there federally. You'll get the business cards, it'll be posted to you, and then you can disseminate them as you want around your community. Now the police pack, the joining up, whether you want to go bronze, silver, gold, or platinum, a percentage of platinum goes towards the legal fund. Bronze, silver, gold is overheads. And a percentage of the business card is also going to go to the legal fund. So as you are helping to stand up together as a community, if you are one of the people that ends up a tall poppy and you start getting singled out by the police, we can help you. We'll also have enough of a presence on social media with other people, because other people are starting to look at us now. Just had a couple of phone calls with Reignite Democracy Australia. Like, it's really, really exciting. So together as a community, we can make sure that you're not alone, that you are speaking to the right legal representation, so you're not just throwing money down the toilet. And however much funds we have in the legal kitty as part of Fair Business Australia, we will be able to hopefully disseminate that out to you. So the more that goes through the platform, the more is put into the legal fund, the more you are supported, the more businesses go on the platform, the more money, the more legal, more supported, and together, all together as a community, we get to rebuild Australia for ourselves and for the next generation. The end scene. So please go on and get your police pack. I'll go in and put the hashtag link in. You can comment, and that will take you directly through to it today. You will get it as a PDF in the next 12 to 24 hours. Have a wonderful rest of your day. God bless. And 2022 is going to be a fabulous, fabulous year. Oh, and get onto the podcast too, guys. We've got lots of great interviews coming up, including 4 political candidates, all independents. It's going to be a good year. Take care. Chat soon.